Hi guys, here is yet another formula for calculating the sample variance and the sample standard deviation. However, you'll use this formula when you're allowed to use your calculator and you don't have to do it by hand. So you were still going to use a formula, but you'll get most of the parts from your one variable statistics in your calculator. So let's try an example below. Here we have 5 numbers and we want to use your calculator and the computation formulas you copied above to compute the sample variance and sample standard deviation. So remember, you'll only do this for very large sample sets or whenever they say use your calculator. So the first thing I need to do is get my data in my calculator. So let's turn it on first. Stat, edit, and here I have my data 10, 14, 15, 16, 20. So now I'm going to stat calc one variable stats. And you'll see I get a lot of the information I need for my computation formula. Here's the sum of my x values. Here's the sum of the squares of my x values. And here's the answer that I'm looking for here, right? I mean, we know what we're going to get. And here's n. This is the nice thing about using our calculator. We're checking our answers as we go. So from the formula we copied above, s squared equals, or my sample variance equals, the sum of my squares, 1177, subtracting the sum of my x values, which is 75, squared all over n, which is 5 because there's 5 numbers, and then that entire quantity is going to be divided by 4. And then remember, my standard deviation is going to be the square root of whatever this answer is. So hopefully we get 3.6. So let's see. So let's do 75 squared first and then divide by 5. So then what I can do, see how it says answer in blue? That's my second to get that there. I'm going to do 1177 minus second, my answer. And then divide that by 4. So my sample variance is 13. So that means my sample standard deviation is going to be the square root of 13. So the square root of my answer, 3.605, which is what we wanted. So we also could have computed this by hand using my sum of my x's and the sum of my squares of my x's, but we're going to use our calculator as a shortcut here. So just different ways of calculating our standard deviation.